Good evening, everybody. I'm Josh Cujo. We got Dan over here, and we got Dave, and Alex is on audio because, like a good student, he is completing his engineering homework. And we completely support that. So, tonight I've got a couple articles, but we've got a little bit more information on some stuff that we felt was pending, and some stuff that inarguably might be a little late coming from the FAA. But I do want to address, let me share my screen real quick and make sure I'm sharing the right screen. All right, so these are some graphs that Dan sent us, I don't know, about a week ago. And these are relating to Reddit and the subscriber count to various different channels on Reddit related to drones. So this first one, and they all are very similar, but this first one is from the FPV channel on Reddit. And it starts in 2012 and goes all the way to current. And you can see over the last essentially 2 years since COVID kind of kicked off.
Yeah, let's see. When would that big jump be right there? That's end
Probably
of
about
2019
July.
or mid 2019. Yeah. So that wasn't like
Maybe
stimulus
July?
money or anything. That came later.
It did. So, but there's been a sharp increase in at least interest in information related to FPV. So, this next one is for FPV racing, and there's an even sharper increase.
And that was like a year later.
Yeah, middle of 2020.
The scale is different. But the numbers are much
yeah,
larger.
The scale's a little bit different.
Yeah, so you got 60,000 versus 100,000. So scale's even bigger on that one. And then this last one is just the drones channel on Reddit. So you can see that interest in drones is growing and will continue to grow. So,
I remember back in 2016, it was never as good as it was then because everyone was into it, and it's all died out now.
Yeah, totally.
Don't think so.
Now, if you look at like Google's search results, that shows a different story. But this is the subscribers to the various subreddits anyway seem to be steadily climbing.
Absolutely. So, and social media, including Reddit, is Reddit social media to a certain extent. But social media usually gives the story behind what's going on in trends, especially in today's world. So this is a pretty marked increase in what I thought it was, to be honest. And I started, I think, in around 2015, 2016. So yeah, it's pretty interesting seeing all the interest in it. But I just wanted to start off with that. That bodes well. I mean, the more people who are into the hobby, I feel like the better off we'll all be. The more voices and more interest to keep something alive. Absolutely.
Plus the slope of the racing curve is very interesting to me in that it's steeper than the other two.
Absolutely.
And that's a great thing.
I think organizations like MultiGP, probably DRL, have had a lot to do with that.
Is that did DRL do something in the middle of 2021? Or Alex, do you have any insights into? Or no, that's middle of 2020.
When was the DJI FPV drone launched?
That was just this year, wasn't it?
It was about a year ago now.
Yeah. Interesting. Speaking of
before we move to the next topic,
yeah, go ahead.
I want to bring up one thing. Someone mentioned if there's a schedule where I can see the next meeting. So when's the next meeting? What's the meeting schedule?
So generally, our meeting schedule is every other Wednesday. So it would be every 2 weeks from today. But yeah, we should probably post a schedule. That would be a great idea, especially going into the holidays here. We are going to be going a little quieter, just because a lot of our meeting times are going to fall on holidays, and we don't want to detract from people having their time with their family or anything like that, both for us and for people who want to join us. So,
And we will have
it's
one
not,
in 2 weeks from now, right? And
Mhm.
then it starts to get more sporadic after that.
Yeah, I believe so. Now the only change to that would be if something comes from the FAA, circa around December 31st or something like that. Obviously, we'll be all hands on deck trying to figure out what that is and get that information to you guys as usual. So, just keep that in mind. We will post announcements if we have something to share. We would expect that there would be something potentially related to CBOs coming around then. But actually, Alex, when are we expecting CBOs to be declared? Do you have an answer for that?
The latest update I have is when as the FAA expects to have CBOs is September 2022. So
Okay.
that's right around the same time as manufacturer's data compliance for remote ID.
All
And
right.
that's also goes for the same as FRIAs.
Okay, so we're thinking FRIA's, the process for applying for a FRIA won't be until September 2022 as well?
No, they don't. The accept the That's when they plan to have accepted CBOs and FRIAs by. So they plan to
Okay.
have established CBOs and FRIAs. Well, they plan to have established FRIAs by then, which would thus also mean that they would have to have CBOs by then.
Right. Because CBOs and educational institutions are the only ones that can apply for FRIAs.
Right, and how could you apply for one if you don't exist yet?
Right. So that's a
that's what we're
full
looking
year before operator compliance goes into effect, yes?
Hopefully, but
Yeah.
it's the FAA. We don't know.
So, for those of you keeping score, the CBO process was supposed to be kind of worked out about 2 years ago. So, we're finally getting around to that. We did they did ask for feedback to a what was it called?
Advisory circular.
Thank you. Appreciate it. An advisory circular, which we provided feedback to, and we have learned there were about 60 responses and to it from various people and organizations. And mind you, that was, more focused on organizations with interest in becoming CBOs. So the feedback was related to that, but we're hoping that we get feedback on that advisory circular from the FAA in the coming month, hopefully. So yeah. All right. Anything else for us on that, Alex?
Nope, that's pretty much it.
Okay, cool. Let's see. I thought this was really cool. We post a link for chat. So, this is essentially a blimp type drone. And this NTT Docomo is a Japanese mobile carrier, has proposed a camera equipped blimp that navigates indoor space using harmless sound waves for propulsion. So there's no propellers on this. It utilizes ultrasonic sound to propel itself around the room. And you can see the video there. They've using ultrasonic speakers, and they have a little piece of paper. It says the speed will vary depending on the size of a drone, the size of the propellers, which there aren't any, and the craft's payload. But a drone's propellers. Oh, this is talking about standard propellers. I'm sorry. Let's see. Drones propellers can easily hit speeds of 10,000 RPM. And given the fact that props are often left fully exposed to reduce the weight of the drone, can cause a lot of damage should they make contact with objects or people.
But then again, a 10,000 RPM tiny whoop propeller is not exactly going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, no, not really. Ultrasonic, I won't hear of it. There you go. You actually won't hear it. Let's see. So, this is why you often see miniature helium-filled blimps used for indoor aerial photography instead, but while there's less risk of them suddenly falling out of the sky, they still rely on spinning propellers for steering, so they're not completely safe. NTT Docomo's solution is to pair a spherical helium balloon with a high-res camera hanging off the bottom and sets of ultrasonic transducers mounted to either side. Like a speaker, the ultrasonic transducers vibrate to push air, but instead of pumping out music, they're designed to generate just enough air movement to maneuver the aircraft in any direction, even up and down. The transducers are completely safe to touch, so the crashes are no longer a safety risk, are much quieter than spinning propellers, and they require much less energy than electric motors.
Well, I think it's a really cool idea, and in theory, and showing it fly is really awesome, but I don't really buy the safety aspects of anything anywhere near that size. Like, you don't need much of a propeller. If that little speaker can move it, a teeny tiny propeller barely spinning can also move it, which is not going to be dangerous.
Yeah. But the nice thing is, you know, if you're, let's say you're doing aerial photography of like a trade show or something like this would be, you know, relatively, obviously very quiet, and you don't need to move fast anyway. This reminds me of like an atmosphere version of the Ion engine, right? That they've been testing for space.
I'm
just like little micro movements that
I'm just saying you have the
time.
same balloon with teeny tiny propellers on it that give the same force as those speakers. Those teeny tiny propellers are not going to make any sound or damage anything larger than a gnat. So
well, that gnat might take offense though. But yeah, I mean, pretty cool process. You know, cool thought. Let's see. My props make a lot of sound anyway until someone opens the door and a draft blows it out the window. Yeah, there you go. That would be funny. Just because you can do it doesn't mean it's a good idea. Yep.
Although I think it's really cool just to prove that you can do it.
Absolutely. So, this is not going to be a friendly article, but I wanted to bring this to light a little bit, because I'm seeing more of these this week than I really wanted to see. And this is one of those fear mongering type articles. And this comes from one of the California local news channels. This is talking about weaponized drones are likely coming to the U.S.
Oh, that mentions Newsy at the top. Where have we heard Newsy before? I'm sure Bruce could answer that.
So today, technically, anyone could have their own Air Force with drones, and that's becoming a serious problem to security experts. And I'm mocking this.
I know Alex has his own Air Force full of drones. He's got enough of them.
Yeah, I mean, I technically, I mean, what do you mean? How many drones qualifies as a squadron?
Oh,
I mean,
right. Alex's don't all fly at the same time, so no Air Force there.
Huh? Oh no. I will neither confirm nor deny how many drones I have.
That's funny. Last Sunday, 3 drones armed with explosives were used in a failed assassination plot on Iraq's prime minister. Analysts say they resembled drones leaked to Iranian-backed militias, which have targeted American troops in a spate of attacks on Iraq. Another flurry of drones descended on U.S. forces last month in Syria, and they're also thought to show Iran's hand. Franzman says Iran often uses so-called kamikaze drones for one-way suicide missions. It might even, is it a suicide mission or just a one-way mission? I mean,
it's a missile, is what Bruce would call it.
Are we personifying drones now?
Yeah, if you draw a smiley face on it, it's a suicide bomb.
Yeah. So, So, in a country like ours, which is sort of increasingly ridden by political division, it will not be surprising if you're going to see people who at least consider, if not use, these cheaply and readily available systems to carry out their own domestic violent agendas. This is garbage. I'm throwing it out there. The Federal Aviation Administration says it's receiving more than 100 reports of drone sightings each month. In the energy sector, an intelligence bulletin first obtained by ABC News reported that a drone targeted a
Hey, look, I
Pennsylvania
saw a drone.
substation.
It's a drone sighting. Should I
Right?
report it?
The FAA tells Newsy it's crafting a process so certain facilities can apply for airspace restriction, and energy infrastructure would fall under that provision. But government is moving slower than technology advances. The FAA just began testing drone detection systems at a handful of airports this month. The Defense Department started evaluating commercial devices to intercept small drones in urban settings at a demonstration in Arizona this past spring. Drone experts say demand will rise, but the counter drone industry is just taking off. I would beg to differ. There are more counter drone companies, I swear, than there are people actually making drones.
The date on
And
this?
what's that?
What's the date on this?
Let's
On the
see.
bot-
November 16th, 2021. So yesterday.
Wow, that's amazing. Because a lot of this is out of date.
So it feels like it is, right? But
Yeah,
I mean, this is just
the infrastructure rules have been in place for quite some time. It's 2209, 2210.
Yeah.
And the was it Iraq? Iran.
Yes.
Where they were there was
that was Iraq.
That was last month, I think.
So at any rate,
All right. Yeah. Yep.
Between this and the I've seen different takes on the Pennsylvania power station one. One said it looked like bungee cords that looked like maybe a recovery device that somebody was using to try and maybe fetch another drone. But it's just I'm seeing a lot of these lately, and I haven't seen a ton in the past, I don't know, year or so, but we're back to this now. So if you're talking to people about drones, have some wherewithal to counter some of this and be able to speak to this, because this is just outrageous. This is not something I'm afraid of. So at any rate, there's that. Moving on from crap reporting, I have this. I have not watched Red Notice yet. I've heard different takes on it, but apparently Johnny FPV was doing some work. Let's see. Was roped in by Netflix to introduce a new form of film technology in Red Notice, attaching a 6K Komodo cinema camera from Red to a racing drone. That's going to be a extremely expensive camera. Johnny made his Hollywood debut by flying in some of the most exotic locations across the planet in some of the most expensive sets Netflix has ever built. In an interview with comicbook.com, Red Notice director Rawson Marshall Thurber and producer Hiram Garcia explained how they wanted to make the movie more immersive for the audience by using innovative drone technology. But in case you haven't watched the film yet, you can see 2 minutes of spoiler-free drone sequences from Red Notice. That's what this is here. I'll blow this up here. Yeah.
Yep.
Probably a steady cam.
But that intro is great.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Probably.
From what I understand, most productions actually rent the cameras just because they're so expensive. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Johnny does a great job with this kind of stuff. He's been doing this stuff for Red Bull and stuff for a while. Pretty cool. Well, congratulations to him. That's great. It's awesome seeing FPV in filmmaking.
Anyone try to go chase a car or an model airplane, it's like, oh my gosh, this is pretty hard. So that was some fantastic work. As you guys say, yeah, Johnny FPV's been doing it a while, and his work is great.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It says, talking about the use of FPV drones in the later part of the film, Thurber adds in the mine shaft sequence that ends the film, we were about 400 feet underground in a mine in northern Atlanta, and we brought the drone down there and chased the cars through the mine shafts. FPV drones have truly been having their moment this year, popularized first by a viral bowling alley video and later being adopted by everyone from luxury car showrooms to football teams for providing an unprecedented up-close look into their facilities. Recently, the world's biggest drone manufacturer, DJI, also announced the opening of a new authorized retail store in South Korea with an FPV drone video. But while we love coming across stellar FPV drone stories that tell a story of their own, we are certainly looking forward to watching more movie productions use FPV shots in their filmmaking process. And yeah, it does look clean. It's amazing. Johnny he really kills it. Just about every time I've seen him do something for Red Bull or even this, it's always super clean. So did DJI use one of their own drones for that video of them opening their store in South Korea? I don't know. I would imagine they probably would have used their FPV drone, but who knows? Let's see what's next. In case you like DRL's game, it is now out for mobile. If you need to get some drone practice on the go there, Alex, you can download it for Apple or Android. Today, why so? Yeah. Oh. Oh, Bitcoin. Here we go. Are we gonna have a DRL coin? A drone coin? Did I just create something? Probably mine's crypto in the background. That's funny. It's like uh so all right, so users, download at your own risk, do your research first, but DRL has launched a mobile video game. Beginning this December, DRL will pit drone racing arcade players against one another in skills hosted drone racing arcade tournaments for the opportunity to win exclusive prizes. The drone racing arcade mobile game provides a new immersive experience that gives DRL fans a way to take part in drone racing action. So interesting. Well, DRL does they do participate in essentially betting at their races. So It is I forget which network it's on, but it is on one of the betting
I think
channels.
DraftKings.
It might be DraftKings or something like that, but just be careful with that. I don't want anybody losing their shirt on drone racing. Overall, maybe for the better. Yeah. So, and last but not least, DJI has released two new drones. These are so far are only in China. It's the DJI Agris T40 and T20P. These are agricultural drones, specific drones. The T40 is a DJI's new flagship for digital agriculture. Offers significant efficiency improvements over its predecessor, the T30. Equipped with a coaxial twin rotor design, the T40 farming drone boasts a spreading capacity of 50 kilograms and a spraying capacity of 40 kilograms. Effectively, this drone can spread 1.5 tons of urea or spray pesticides on a 320 acre field in an hour. The drone also features omnidirectional radar and binocular vision to detect obstacles at a distance of up to 50 meters. The T40 can also be flown in complex terrain, such as orchard hills, spraying up to 60 acres of fruit trees in an hour. Skunk spray, maybe. The T40 has an ultra high definition camera and adjustable gimbals so the drone can collect farmland and orchard images in real time, build maps locally, and identify plot boundaries and obstacles for intelligent route planning. The smart agricultural cloud platform users can automate field inspections, crop growth analysis, and disease monitoring. In addition to pairing the system with the DJI P4 multispectral drone, allows farmers to apply solutions based on specific variables. So pretty cool. Looks like it all folds up. It's got a tank on it on board. The T40 is available for just the mere starting price of $9,000. So, but yeah, a little bit, but definitely another use case for drones, right? Replacing crop dusters and stuff like that. Now, this would probably be a much slower process, but you save on a pilot, a plane, and gas. So there you go. Anywho, let's see. I think that's all I have. Let's see. Dan, did you have anything for us this evening? I feel like I rushed through it. I can't get over that.
Advanced Aviation Advisory Committee.
So yeah, and we're just gonna go with Mars attacks. So, Alex, what do you got for us this evening?
Well, it's not too much. One thing that is interesting is the new Orca Radio is dropping tomorrow. I think that's starting at 49 euros and 79 for for including Ghost with it. Yep.
It's all module.
It comes with a Bluetooth. Comes with a Bluetooth module to put in, so you can connect it to their simulator for your phone. but then so far, and it's a completely different module bay too. It's even smaller, proprietary. It is not OpenTX. It uses their own app to configure it. No display. Um, yeah, probably not. But I, yeah, yeah. Since all my stuff is Ghost, I think I might try it just to see what it's like. Because I also have Orca goggles, and maybe there will be some integration where I
between
can
the two.
use the goggles, the sim, and the phone, or goggles controller and the sim all together,
A
which
la
might
the
be nice.
DJI FPV kind of setup.
But yeah, so
So it'll accept pretty much any kind of multi-protocol module kind of thing.
mhm. Well, no,
What the
yep,
compatibility is going to be. All right.
yep.
Good
So
times.
it'll be interesting.
Okay. So we've got that coming out. I've seen a little bit on Edge TX. I have not messed with it, which I know I'm probably way late to the party on that, but it's been around since like June of this year. So, but I did see a Bardwell video of him kind of going through that and really enjoying it and giving some more functionality to some of the OpenTX uh, transmitters. So,
Yeah, I have a transmitter. I have a transmitter. I may burn that on. See how it goes.
yeah,
Never been a fan of OpenTX.
it's got its pluses and minuses, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
From the very first batch, there you go. How'd your races go, Alex?
Oh yeah, that did happen.
Are you trying to forget it?
No. Well, we had the first three-time champion, Evan Turner. He has won 3 times now, which is crazy. We also had a championship where pilots couldn't finish 2 laps of the track, not
Oh, goodness.
because of crashing out, but because of batteries.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, it was. So this year, MultiGP chose to do a longer track for champ. So lap times were around 30 seconds for the pros and 45, 50 seconds for sport. And
Okay.
so sport was all able to finish their 2 laps and all. But when you got to the top of the pros where they're doing 30-second laps, their batteries would, some of them would have a clean flight the entire time, and the last or second to last gate, their battery would be completely dead and they couldn't get to the finish gate.
Oh,
Um,
no.
so, yeah, there are a couple of them where um, some pilots just didn't make it because of battery, not because of piloting skill.
Oh.
But yeah, yeah, because then you have to account for the weight and the change of flight performance, which is noticeable at that level.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. Absolutely.
it's not mayhem.
Well, I mean, it might be something to consider that,
But
that might be something that needs to, become a thing where you're actually planning for pit stops. I know and I don't follow drone racing super closely, but I do know, several years ago in the Dubai races that they actually had pit crews that changed batteries in the middle of that course. So, um maybe that needs to become a thing.
or mhm,
Longer
yeah,
course.
or
Yeah.
or design or work on the drone, which is
Hmm. Absolutely. So,
Or
interesting.
a shorter course.
no, no, no. We
Uh,
don't need shorter courses. Just need,
Yeah, we need
I
to fly
agree with
faster,
extra.
X-Jet.
Well, faster, I mean, faster isn't necessarily going to mean you're making it. I mean, if the pros at 30-second lap times can't get a battery to get across the finish line, then, might have a different solution and burn more amps in the process.
I think that's the wrong way around.
That's hilarious.
But yeah,
But,
that was
yeah,
good. It was fun. The track was great. All the pilots there loved the track.
good.
We had a triple tower in the middle that was 30 feet tall.
Nice.
It was so fun flying through the track. It just flew so well. Yeah.
And your lap times were?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Oh, that's convenient. That's convenient. Let's see.
Remember.
All right.
Forgot my notebook.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right. So, Dave, you got anything for us this evening?
DG12 with the ACK is moving along. It's the tasking group on integrating aviation STEM into K through 12, and I think we're making some progress. We're talking about working with accreditation bodies and education in the United States. As I've gone through it, I thought it was screwed up when I went through it 40 years ago, and it's amazing that we graduate anyone in this country. There are 50 separate processes, and none of it is unified at a federal level. And so it's just amazing. And multiple accreditations, over 100 accrediting bodies at K through 12. So we're learning as aviation geeks all about the education bureaucracy in the United States, and we'll still try to intercept it at an intelligent way, and we'll make something positive. So that's moving along, I think, quite well. The another FAA related project, of course, is the Beyond Visual Line of Sight Aviation Rulemaking Committee. Dan and I have been attending more meetings of that than we care to admit. I've been burning probably about 30 hours a week on that for the last month, and so the work group I'm helping write the automated flight rules, and that's I'm very proud of this team. It's about 20-25 people, lots of great writing. It's now a document about 91 pages, and that's one portion. So there are 5 work groups that are working in the ARC, and I got confirmation. This always needs to be. I will ask the question again and again and again until I have the document in my hands. But I did get confirmation that yes, the document will be published after it is submitted to the FAA and the FAA approves release. It's never a given that will happen in ARC, but there is so much information in this combined document that I've been pushing and pushing and pushing. I got a confirmation. We'll see, and we'll continue to follow up with that. It's right, absolutely. Right, it'll help us be very well educated when a beyond visual line of sight not notice for public rulemaking comes out, which is of course the next step. So yeah, agreed, Dan. That'll be a positive, and it'll help us. And so the 80 some odd companies in that, we are proud to have been selected to be a part of that, and we are one of a handful of people helping write the document. So it's a lot of work, but it's we're right in the thick of it, and we're helping to contribute significantly to the overall document. And the only one that that's correct. Yeah, it's the only one that's running. 11 presented at the October 27 DACAC. and the next ACK is in February. I would imagine the latter part. The history has told us it's the third week in the month. But
Any
it's
idea
not
on
confirmed.
upcoming tasking groups that would be initiated during the next one?
No, those are always a deep dark secret.
All right.
Yeah, I would agree. That's a good one. And another one would be something with a societal benefit, since we've seen gender neutral language and we've seen K through 12 integration. So there is a strong Department of Transportation push on what's the societal benefit of anything we're working on in aviation.
Do you think uh beyond visual line of sight would receive any kind of tasking as a coming out of the
What is very likely, one of the things we saw with the safety culture, that was TG Tasking Group 9 that reported out in June of 2021. The response from the FAA was largely, we like it, and we're going to kick the can down the road and ask the formerly the UAST, now the Drone Safety Team, to create a working group and dig into this. So as things get more technical, I think that would be something that we would likely see action items coming out of the um, BB Loss ARC going into the DST, as well as potentially into the AC. So
Yep.
that's
And
and
go
let's
ahead.
see. Hopefully I find out tomorrow if they accepted my application into the drone safety team.
There you go.
We'll find out.
So we have drones offer a lot of potential societal benefits. I would agree with that. I think just the amount of different tasks that drones can be utilized for are great. I did read an article today. I didn't present it because it was very short and didn't offer a whole lot of engaging material. But drones are becoming more common on construction sites for things like mapping and surveying and all that kind of stuff. And you do mention things like emergency transport of organs. Yep, I agree with that. Or things just like these DJI drones, the agricultural drones. Not just spraying crops.
Search and
but
rescue.
Yep.
Taking people out of dangerous missions and replacing them with machines. Great.
Rescuing
Great
dogs
societal.
from volcanoes.
Yeah.
in movies.
Well, and if you so
I think so. Greg put out a video. Let me just double check that.
So the
Just so I'm
action
sure.
shots, it really is a good point from a perspective of production with movies as well as news. And you think, well, we say it half in jest, but it's like, oh, so we didn't put up a helicopter and you didn't burn that level of fuel. So, oh, it really is a lot greener. So it's, so yeah, we're picking up on those. Right. Right.
Let me see. Is there an update to this story? Let's see. This is La Palma. Let's see. I can't remember the name of it. It says, let's see. Yeah, it says this article says more than 2 weeks later, we still don't know who saved the La Palma dogs. The dogs were rescued by a group that calls itself the A Team. They have been trapped by lava flows from the Cumbre Vieja volcano. Let's see. Yeah. Portland. Yes, absolutely. They were delivering food and water. So that was awesome. Let's see. Yeah. Apparently, they're like a a little secretive group. So so at least they're rescued. That's a great deal. And it's great that even just delivering food and water to the dogs so they could be rescued by the A team is awesome. So drones on construction sites are great for diving partly built buildings. Yes, I've done that. It is great. Drones would be great only if they weren't such a threat to okay. Let's see. I find it interesting to think how we've essentially had everything we need to make drones since the 70s, but didn't actually figure it out till recently. Uh, yeah, and I mean, when was the first drone actual quadcopter or were tricopters before quadcopters? Flight controllers. Yeah. hmm Yeah. But still, I mean, they've been around for longer than, I've known about them. So, um and FPV's been around since a lot longer than I've known about it. So, um mhm. And there's pictures of Trappy with his first FPV headset. Those are pretty crazy pictures. Of like basically just a rigged up pair of sunglasses or something that I think he put together. But really interesting stuff. But anyway, I think that's all I have. I think that's all we've all got. So I will give you, yeah, 2005. Wow, that's awesome, XJet. First FPV flight. His first FPV flight was 2005. That's really cool. Yeah, that would be cool. uh, I can imagine it was. That would be
I don't know. It's tough. I didn't know about it.
That's funny.
Then parents didn't tell me about it,
Yeah.
so couldn't really do too much about it. I didn't know how to use the internet.
uh, long wire radio, a 420 line black and white camera, and a nitro engine. Oof. Yeah, that would have been a little sketchy. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us this evening. We do appreciate it. We will be back in 2 weeks, and we'll get a schedule up of our meetings and when we plan to have them. That way, we'll get that posted on our website. That would be a great resource, I think. So, especially for the upcoming holidays. So, we'll get that taken care of. So, thank you. Have a great night. Have a great week. Get out and do some flying. Hopefully, it's not snowing. Or if you're like Dan, your drones are protected from snow anyway, and you just throw them into it.
Conformal coat.
Or you could just be here in Arizona where it's still 80 degrees and
That sounds like terrible.
flying is fun. So
And to those in the United States, a happy Thanksgiving.
absolutely. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.